We don't recognize what a man looks like today. Therefore, we don't respect what man is today. Mm-hmm. In the 80s, you realized what leadership was all about, and it was defined when you looked at leadership. You knew that President Reagan was a leader because he spoke like a leader, and he carried himself like a leader.
Yep.
In a household, you knew who your father was because the father spoke like a father. He carried himself like a father. But the moment a father became absent from the home, we lost who a father was. Therefore, we don't recognize what a father looks like because a father has been gone for so long that therefore we don't even know what it sounds like, what it looks like, what he smells like. Therefore, when we try to be fathers today, we can't even recognize what a father looks like because the father has been gone too long. Now, let me flip the script for a minute. Now, we don't know what a leader is because a leader has been absent for so long that we don't recognize how he looks like, what he sounds like, how he signs executive orders like. So therefore, we come against anything that looks like a man, smells like a man, walks like a man. Oh, I can preach right now. But as man, we've become absent from our home. So how can a man regain his position when he's been gone for so long?
How does a man? There you go, Neil. That's a question.
Well, when I was 5 years of age, my mother called my brother, my sister, and myself into her bedroom. And that was not unusual. My father was an executive for General Electric, and he traveled a lot. And so it wasn't unusual to get on the phone, but this time it was weird. It was different. There was a look of pity and sadness on my mom that I really couldn't grasp at the time. And my brother, who's older, took the phone and immediately burst into uncontrollable tears. I couldn't describe it then. I understand what happened now. I saw my brother swallow a bitter root that he's yet to extract. My sister was next. Beautiful girl. Oh, my gosh. My sister, beautiful. But when she took the phone, she didn't cry. It was like a fog enveloped her that lasted for decades. Mm. And she tried to sedate that pain her whole life. I was next. I'm 5 years of age. I take the phone. On the other end of the phone is my father's deep baritone voice, and he says, "Gary, I'm not going to be living at home any longer. Your mother and I are getting a divorce. I love you, little buddy." Click. Now, I didn't know at 5 years of age, you don't know what the word divorce means. You don't understand what it's all about. And so when I heard that, I'm like, what has just happened here? And I couldn't understand what was happening. I didn't understand when my mom married a former friend of my father. You know, when you're 5, you don't understand that. And I didn't understand it when my mom called me in and said, "We're not going to call you Gary any longer," which is my father's name. "We're going to call you Neil, your middle name, and you're going to assume my husband's name." So that morning, I awakened Gary Kennedy. That night, I went to bed Neil Robertson. And somewhere in the daylight hours, someone stole my identity. And the problem with that is if you don't know who you are, you'll never know why you are. Inherent to identity is your purpose. So my whole childhood, all my teenage years, I'm grasping. I'm trying to play catch up. It's like the world was on a time zone I wasn't on, and I'm just trying to figure this out. No one there. My father wasn't there to tell me about our heritage. He wasn't there to prophesy my future. My father's voice exited with him, and I wouldn't know him until I became an adult. One night, I was working in a coal mine, believe it or not, in Oklahoma. I look like a coal miner, right? I was working in a coal mine from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., 7 nights a week by myself. They hired me to pump water out of the mine all night long. And so I learned very early that freedom costs a lot of money. So I had moved out when I was 17, and I'm working and trying to just I didn't have anything else to do, so 84 hours a week at work, helped me eat. So one night in the coal mine, I heard the Spirit of God. I remember looking up at the stars and saying, God, do you even know who I am? Do you even care? And Philip, you know the voice of God. I heard the voice of God, and the voice of God said to me, I know you, and I've given you the spirit of a son, and you can call me Abba. You can call me Daddy. And it was at that moment, intentional direction began to happen in my life, an identity of who I am, a self-assurance. It's not personal confidence. Knowing who I am in Christ gave me purpose.